Hello, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Today, I have more 7-star key quests. It's going very quickly so far, so it should probably continue to go quickly. Current hope is 2 a day today, 2 a day tomorrow, and then I'll be done. I've got this one, that one, and that one. Of all of those, this one I think I will enjoy. This one's a bit iffy because I don't love Rathian, but it's not the worst. This one's probably fine, and I don't like Uragan. So, I think if I do this one last today, or second, it's not really last, it is last, but the nuance is different. I think they go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the best order. But they're all monsters that are decent. I fought them all a bunch, so it's not like a fresh fight, but it'd be nice if there was a little bit... Wrong direction. It'd be nice if there was just a tiny bit more. I guess it's kind of the case of if you do the village, then do the hub, you will repeat even more. Like the quests will be even more repetitive that way, so I guess that's probably fair enough. Which is a good thing with how they've changed it. I think, well, at least World. World didn't have a separate village, which I think is good. Rise did have a separate village and hub though. Maybe it's because of online requirements? I'm not actually sure why Rise had a separate village. If it's so that it could actually be played offline, then okay, I could agree with that. I don't know if World can be played offline. Because it's generally less of an issue. Unless you're playing World on a... Obviously, internet's not always there, and... But it's less of an issue than on a portable handheld console. Unless you're playing it on a laptop. But there's issues with always online requirements and stuff, but I just don't know what the reason is. Maybe World tried it and then they wanted to go back for Rise because the aesthetic. I actually have no idea where Uragan is. At this point I'm gonna go get a map just because I like maps. Makes the top right corner look a lot better. I'm guessing it's in that one little small area where you can drop down to Zone 8. Because that's the most annoying place they could be. Climbing up. The contrast on those colors is very... I don't know if contrast is the right word. Saturation? But they do contrast the colors around them very sharply. I love quests where I spend the first several minutes where I'm going back. I want to go to the honey area. And then drop to 4 and then drop down to 2. 2 is where I'm guessing it probably started. I think it's possible that it started in 6, but I'm going to check 7. I guess I should check 6. it's probably moved on from wherever it began. So if it started in 2, it's probably in 3 or 8 already. But it is what it is. Yep, nothing here. I kind of think it's kind of it's interesting, the non-flammable threads. That makes me think of Raknakadaki. Raknakadaki, or at least the variant version, releases threads and then ignites them. Which means they can burn. Okay, just a different area, which means that it was in an area that I was in, and then either I left or it left. And I never saw it, because it didn't react to me, I didn't react to it. Going back to 2 on the off chance that it showed up just as I left. I'm gonna go this way through 5. I think this is the biggest anti this old system argument I can imagine. I guess I check 5. If it's not in 5, then I assume it has to be in 9. I should bring Psycho Serums. If I remember, I'll try to bring Psycho Serums for every hunt left between now and Nakarkos. Yep, it's probably in 9. If it's not in 9, I'm actually going to abandon the quest and then start it over with the Psycho Serum, because that will be faster. And I leave it in because it's, you know, gotta include the descent into madness. If I didn't leave it and I started the next hunt frustrated, there's no logic. I'm out. Bye. There's probably better ways to go back and forth to ensure it can't slip past you, but it's, you know, mounting frustration. And it does exactly why I'm leaving it instead of starting over. The exact reason is I'm frustrated. And if I go into the hunt frustrated with no context, then I'm just frustrated for no reason. Like 7 or 8 minutes and not even seeing it, just seeing it pop up in the top right corner at some point. And it's going to just be in zone 1. It'd be really funny if it's right here. If it is, I will quit this game. Good. If it was in this zone when I jumped down, I would have abandoned the fight and just never played this game ever again. Because that would be a real, obviously not intentional because it's a program. It'd be a real intentional kick. Clearly just taunting me. Yes, I was correct that it probably started in zone 2 last time. Okay, did it hit or did it... No, it hit the small guy. Which is why the paintball wore off near instantly. I missed because it turned. The preemptive frustration makes it harder to fight. Oh no, it wasn't the paintball wearing off, it was the Psycho Serum wearing off. That makes sense. Not a good way to start. What is this camera? And I'm gonna roll right into it. I don't like this zone either, because it's way too small for a monster like this. And while I could just sit around... What is camera? I could just sit around waiting for it to move to another zone. Or maybe I could dung bomb. Maybe you can dung bomb them when they're by themselves to force them to get out of the terrible zones. That would be good to consider. Probably too risky to make the decision I made, which was to try to not heal when I could have healed before that hit that brought me to basically dead. What was it doing there? Okay, that move there is very confusing. It moves very quickly in a weird rotation. Love iframes. Very helpful. They do a lot to keep you alive. And it's actually fairly consistent on that attack. It's relatively easy to time. Or I got lucky multiple times in a row, but... I mean, twice in a row is not a huge sample size. But I think I'm going to change up the plan for the monster that I'm going to hunt next. I need to pick one that won't be as frustrating, because this first hunt was already preemptively frustrating. So I'm probably going to pick the slightly less frustrating, but still annoying, Astalos Rathian. Which will be frustrating because of Rathian. And I should make sure that I bring dung bombs to that, to make it less frustrating. Okay, that iframe from the roar was lucky, with how long it lasted. Yep. Oh, was I blasted there? I wasn't paying attention. And I'm gonna get stunned, and I'm gonna die. Oh, I didn't get stunned. But I did die. Very good start. Two things that would really make this easier, in general, every hunt, would be if I could have stun resist, or immunity, or quick sheath. If I could sheath my weapon quicker, I could actually dodge stuff more effectively. I don't know if that chain of hits would have been dodgeable with quick sheath, or if I would have been able to sheath in time. Oh, and I don't have the food effect anymore. Which means that I need to keep in mind that I do not have black belt, which means that I will drain stamina faster. Which is a shame. I was mostly above the tail, but it didn't do that much damage, so maybe that's fine. If I cart again, I will quit and never play this game again because I'm a quitter. I hit you, it should have cleared it. Bye, I'm not helping anymore. The frustration of spending a long time and not finding it just makes it hard to play this game sometimes. It's been a while since I've been so frustrated because of something so basic in this game. Because actually, if I wasn't trying to get to Nakarkos in a set amount of time, I actually would have just stopped playing for at least a day after not finding a monster for over 5 minutes. I give up. Not even going to try to attack it here because it's a waste of time. It's gonna keep going into the lava. Okay, now I can actually hit it. Really hope the oil zone in Wilds isn't full of zones where they hide and you can't fight. Because that really, 3 times in a row. Please let me roll like a human being to clear the blast. Absolutely no parts of break-in, but I've mounted it 3 times, which is confusing. Because, like, its fists can break, its horn can break. That was bad timing on the jump. But none of those have broken despite... Gotta love projectiles that go through walls. It's not a projectile technically, it's explosions, but like, it doesn't make sense. Except for die, hunter, die. Gotta make it harder and not let you hide behind walls because logic, who cares about logic? Logic doesn't matter in a game. There could be arguments for, I think, explosions like that hitting you if they aren't like that. Like, I just don't think that explosion hitting makes sense. Traveling through walls. Because the only source of explosion that it really would have would be chemical. Maybe there's some way to justify it traveling through walls. Well, I guess none of its explosions make any sense, actually. Like, other than the ones that explode from the slime, none of them make any sense. They're just summoning explosions in an area around them. So, I guess it doesn't make sense to begin with. So you can't argue any amount of logic for that. I was pressing the right bumper, which should have had me running, and in turn should have had me Superman diving there. Gotta love cameras. And that didn't jump off of him. I know it was to the side, but then I also hit a wall somehow. Yeah, I mean, that explosion doesn't make sense anyway. But I guess I can't really argue that it doesn't make sense for it to go through a wall when the explosion itself already is completely... makes no sense to begin with, so... I used the honey to make the nutrients, or the max potions. I can't remember which step. Considering I crafted both, it makes sense that it got used. Time for the excellent showcase of willpower. If I finish this fight, I will actually play another hunt instead of stopping and giving up. And all of this because it took far too long to not even find it on my first try. I could go for the tail cut, but I'm not going to bother. It would be much more frustrating to try to get the tail cut than to just try to attack the head. Give me the reload at least. Thank you. He's gonna sleep at that location, but he didn't make it there. Great fun. I mean, the fight itself is fine. Early mistakes because I was very frustrated at how long it took to not even find it. But the fight itself, I mean, carting at all is a failure, but I think, yeah, because I'm only going to do so many more hunts. And if I somehow run out of Psycho Serums, well, it won't be a problem for me now, because I won't run out now. Might run out in the future, but 1, 2, 3 Psycho Serums a fight. I have 3 stacks, that would be 99 hunts. It's like, won't be a problem anytime soon. Yeah, frustration before even starting a fight that I don't love the fight because there's a lot of zoning and stuff, but it's a less frustrating fight on a less obnoxious map, where this is, I think, the worst map in the game. I bet Grudge Match Brachydios would be hard because I assume Grudge Match makes it harder, but it's in an arena, so it would be better than this. I should be using vouchers, which I think I did confirm for myself that the voucher doesn't guarantee the skills. The gourmet voucher probably does. But one more hunt. One more hunt. Then I have 2 more hunts. Then I have one more hunt, and then I'm done. I honestly think once I get Nakarkos done, I probably am out of this game for the foreseeable future. I could do more, there's hypers that I could try, but I think it'd be better to leave on a slightly more positive note, where I'm less frustrated with the game, and if Nakarkos is a fun fight, I'll leave on a more positive note. This gullible housekeeper. Good start. Oh, I didn't bring dung bombs. Let's hope my cats can do the job. Gullible housekeeper being like, oh, the Rathian and the Astalos are gonna get together. Pretty goofy. Ugh. I was hoping I rolled too slow. It's a pretty solid joke for a quest. That's not the direction that I wanted to hop in. I guess I had the angle wrong. I kind of wish status ailments were just paused while mounted. I think it's reasonable that they aren't. I just wish they were. And like, the duration stay paused as well, so not just you don't take damage and the duration ticks down, just you don't take damage, the duration doesn't tick down, it's just you can't die while mounted. That was kind of lucky. I think I greed for the free regen. It's probably not necessary to greed, but greed is good and all that. My cat on the right was just about to heal me, but then it got angry. I'm gonna die. This would have been a good reason to bring dung bombs as well. I got saved by... Did they dung bomb? I don't think so. But yeah, there is that stench on them, I think. It's just very hard to see on the Rathian because of the color and the location of the cloud. They couldn't have done that sooner? When it would have actually been useful? I love Palicos. They're so helpful. I'm going to get a map if they let me. Palicos can't use that when I actually need it. They do occasionally, but it's much more common for them to just waste it on absolutely nothing. I didn't notice it say supplies showed up. Why are there supplies here? Even if it did say supplies showed up, why are there supplies here? This is gonna be too many items. I'm gonna carve the Rathian and I'm gonna have nothing left. I'm gonna have no space to store its parts. I have to use the flash bombs on this guy. It might be usable on the Astalos, but I have to use up these items so that I can actually carve whichever one dies first, which will probably be the Rathian. It's better to use it in the air, but... Rathian is not in the air for as... iffy direction to get launched. Rathian's not in the air as much as Rathalos, so it's a lot less convenient. And of course it doesn't go to the side that I expect it to. Just... Oh, it actually used a useful horn. Let's just leave and drink first aid meds. Oh, lovely. Lovely Astalos timing. Actually potentially ending my life, but not quite. The flinch when a monster shows up is kind of dumb. Because like, oh, I can't even see that the Astalos showed up. But the mere pressure of the Astalos causes me to flinch while I'm running away from another monster. Is just kind of goofy. Because 99%, it's like, I would say it's sort of on the same level as if there was like every monster has a 0.1% chance to one-shot you on any given attack. Like, it's basically never relevant. But when it is, it's annoying. Like the flinch on monster show up, almost never relevant. When it is, it's annoying. Like there's a food you can eat to prevent it, but it's just kind of weird that it exists because it's rarely an issue. Like it's such a rare issue that it just feels like bad luck when it causes a problem. Kind of like if you got one shot on every 1 in 1,000 hits one shot you. And instant carded you no matter what. Like, it was still in the air technically, but it was in the process of landing, so I guess it didn't fall. But yeah, I'll always be much more judgmental of this game when I'm frustrated or in a negative mood. Though I still think that flinch thing is such a waste of time. Because it's not... It's like, it's only relevant the first time you encounter a monster on a hunt. I think that's the only time they do the freak out. And like, even then, it doesn't always seem to trigger? I'm not really sure. Like, it's... Basically, it's only a problem if you get super unlucky, which makes it lame. Like, the monster has to show up while you're fighting the other monster. Then you have to... It has to then be timed in such a poor way that the monster you're currently fighting can take advantage of it. And stuff like that. Like, it's... inconsistent in such a way that it's not worth considering most of the time. So when it happens to ruin your fight, it just feels like, oh, I got unlucky. That's always annoying. Okay, I want to take advantage of this landing time. But I can't, because if I go for it, I miss the roll, and then I get hit by the poison. It's always unfortunate. you should just never attack it in that scenario, which is not interesting. It just means play more passive is the correct answer when it's landing. Like, oh. If you stand too close, you get wind blasted. Then you get stunned for a second. If you try to roll to jump to get a hit in with aerial and you miss, it could follow up with a poison swing. Or you could not miss, get the hit, and probably still get hit by the poison swing if you're in the wrong position. But the only place, I don't even think the wrong position is the wrong position. It's the only position you can get a hit in at. Which is the tail. I'm pretty sure that's the only one that's easy or reliable to get a hit in. I'm just gonna leave. I need to repaint Ball the Rathian. Like, I wouldn't actually complain about it. It's annoying, don't get me wrong, but like a monster roar leading to the other monster beating me up, annoying, but like expected, reasonable, because monsters roar. It occurs consistently, so if they're both in the same area, one of them happens to roar, you get destroyed. Annoying, relatively unlucky, but nowhere near as unlucky because of how frequently they roar, and it not being a once per hunt potential occurrence. I felt like they deserved that. Just trying to kill a little bit of time before going back in to try to fight. Why is it like the Rathian's only sitting in this corner? Like, I leave, I come back, it's in this corner. Thank you. Which is annoying because it's a corner near a zone change, which is... fighting it there is not fun. Anyway, I'm glad I wasted time letting them split up, because trying to fight them together is not fun. Because good multi-enemy fights in, I don't know, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, the like, I think those types of fights are only interesting when they're set up with a clear dance to the multi-enemies behavior. Clear things that give openings that are safe. Clear timings when you're supposed to at least try to do something. The worst ones in those games are where, no, they're totally disconnected from one another. You just have to hope that their random patterns coincide in such a way that you can do anything and hit occasionally. Like the Dark Souls 3 twin demon princes. One is ranged, one is melee. They alternate, meaning you hit the melee one while trying not to get shot. Fairly simple. The gargoyles in the basin in Elden Ring are kind of similar. Even the gargoyles in Dark Souls 1 are pretty rough, but they have if they breathe fire, they're stationary, giving you an opening. Love this game. Love this game. Love when my elemental discharge launches me into another zone. Like that gargoyle, but then there's the gargoyles in Dark Souls 2, where there's like 6 of them. Maybe. There's a lot of them. There's an obnoxiously large number of them. where the only real way to fight them, because there's so many of them, is hit, run, hit, run, hit, run. Just a hit and run fight. Not fun at all, in my opinion. Which is bad. It's a poor example of multi-enemy fights. Even Sister Frida and Father Ariandel? Can't remember the name exactly, I might be wrong. Like, I think that one's a good example of a multi-enemy fight. Oh, I got pink. Got stink bombed. Nice. Though the Rathian was taking a while to leave, but like that one has clear like back and forth mechanics that you work with. I just drank the Psycho Serum. I didn't press... Oh. I pressed Y while accidentally holding the left bumper, probably. And so I didn't drink it, I moved, and then I drank it after. Mistake. Like, the Father Ariandel fight, it has a... It's a little bit annoying. But you focus one of them, you focus Father Ariandel, and you just avoid Frida, because she moves a lot. She will move far enough away that you get openings to work with. Monsters, multi-monsters in this game, they don't interact at all. They just attack, 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 as if they were by themselves. So there's no, like, play, I hate that, between the two of them. It's two solo monster hunts in the same location. Which, sure, you can wait for openings, like, if one of them gives you an opening, you can try to attack the other one, or some stuff like that. Like, you can do it, but it's just slow. Because there's no intended or explicitly designed openings or potential for openings beyond hoping the monsters just happen to time it well for you and give you an opportunity to hit one of them. Which, like, it's hard to do. It makes the fight hard, but I don't think it makes the fight fun. Which is also why they add stink bombs, whatever they're called, dung bombs. So that you don't have to deal with the fact that fights like that are a pain. And then they have arena quests with multiple monsters at the same time, which are a pain. But yeah, there's no real interesting fights with multiple at the same time. It makes it harder and it makes it more boring. And I guess Celtis Queen, in my mind, gets a pass because the other one being, like, the Celtis being present is actually relevant. To the fight. Because, you know, the teamwork component. So, like, multi-monster fights like that, I can get behind, because it makes use of the fact that there's multiple monsters in a way that isn't just get spammed. It's actually a pretty good way to do it, and I think having more things like that would be a lot of fun. Like, if a Rathian Rathalos fight actually had them actively working together in a way that also gave openings to fight back, it would be interesting. Much more interesting than just wait for one to have an opening. Or just attack and hope you don't get hit. I'm assuming the Astalos is either in zone 7 or it's moved to 4 or 9. So I'm running up to the top of 7. Instead of climbing, because climbing is slow. Yeah, I'm looking. I think there's so much potential to have monsters. And more recent games, I would say, have dealt with it by having turf wars and stuff. Having them actually interact with one another, I think, helps. And it might just be enough by itself. Like turf wars, making them split apart because they fought each other, stuff like that. Yes, you can still dung bomb, but I think Wilds has introduced stuff that makes that work a good, like, mix. Because the Doshagama and its pack, you want to fight one of them, but they won't turf war each other because they're a pack. They don't hate each other. Which means that dung bombs are relevant, and you can't just rely on turf wars to force them apart. And I think that's a good thing. It's a good mix. I should just drink the Psycho Serum if it's not in Zone 4. Yeah, I think there's potential for more interesting stuff, but Wilds actually does seem like it will be an interesting enough addition in that context because of having packs of monsters. Because the packs of monsters will still mean dung bomb them. Wrong button. Really don't like these maps with their obnoxious vertical nothingness. So now this one's kind of claustrophobic. And it doesn't benefit, and it just looks bad. I don't know if it's even worth attacking the tail in this state. That's not what I hit, but I guess it is. And that missed because it stepped back, which is always annoying. But also, what did I hit there? I definitely didn't hit a cat, because there was no cat standing there. What did I jump off of? Was it its wing? Did it have a lingering hitbox or something that was absolutely crazy? Or did my cat linger after it tunneled somewhere else? Yeah, I hate these maps because they go up and then they have to come back down and it's just a waste of time. Technically it gives you a bit of time to rest potentially, but rest, heal, whatever. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to... the more I play this with Wild being close, the more I'm really looking forward to, like, all the things that have improved in the intervening games. Like, not having the zones to deal with, having better maps. I really cannot wait at this point. I can, because I have to, but... It's just such a... All the improvements from between this game, World, Rise, The Wilds. Just can't wait. It's going to be such a huge change. I haven't overplayed the beta either, so... Because honestly, I don't really have that much interest in playing the beta, because part of the fun to me of these games is the, you know, making weapons and armor and all that. I don't think I would enjoy these games if it was just hunt monsters for nothing. No rewards, no gear progression. Some people probably would, but for me it's all about crafting new stuff. And if you can't craft stuff in the beta, which I'm pretty sure you couldn't, there's no real point. And like, if I'm gonna do it all, I'm gonna have to fight whatever the boss's name is again in the real game many times to make its armor or something. Why would I fight it with gear that I didn't get to really set up? And the conflicting controls between this and that would make it very much more difficult to try to play them at the same time. Let me get hit. Yep. But my weapon's put away, so I'm fine. I question the direction that I was pushed by the wind there. It's completely garbage that it pushed me in front of him instead of backwards. It's expected for this game, but it is garbage. Given that I was far enough back that I'm pretty sure a gust of wind from its wings would have pushed me downwards. More than pushing me way in front of him. But it is what it is. And maybe it made sense. It really didn't look reasonable, but... It's a really quick tail cut. I felt way too quick. Yeah, I mean, my opinion of stuff like that isn't helped by the fact that I am frustrated still, and in a negative mood because of it. Because, oh my goodness, not having to deal with the, oh, I don't know where it is, so I have to hunt forever, and it can dodge back and forth, and I can't paintball it. Not having to deal with that is going to be so nice. And then I'm going to maybe come back to this in however many months and have to deal with it again, but maybe by then it will feel nice and quaint and not just frustrating. Which, like, most of the time I actually do like the paintball mechanic. It's just like the other annoying thing with first sight of monsters stunning you. It's just like that, though, where you sometimes just get ruined by bad luck, and it just feels awful because it's just bad luck. or it's not looking up on Kiriniko the exact path that the monster follows at the start of a quest. Which is not, I think, an acceptable solution to a mechanic. You know, the broken off parts of a Nastalos kind of, I don't know, it makes me think of like a cucumber for some reason. I don't think cucumber is accurate. But it makes me picture, maybe not a cucumber, maybe like a sliced jelly bean? Or something like that? But like a cucumber colored jelly bean. Which is basically just pale green, so it could just be any green, like lime or something, jelly bean. The limes are not really pale green, most of the time. Not when I've ever seen them. But not a good day. That was an impressively fast descent by this Astalos. It fell faster than I fell, which is quite impressive. You can stare at its broken horn, because it just looks... like... maybe it looks like a cell. Like the outer cell wall, the inside's all cells, the inside of a cell, the mitochondria and whatever. Except not visible mitochondria, but like that might be what it is as well. It's also kind of gross to imagine it as if it was something real. Like if I saw something like that in reality, it would be very gross. With like, you know, what it would look like in, what it would have to look like in reality. It would look gross. For sure. Which in turn makes it feel kind of like, ooh, it's kind of gross. Even if the image itself is not actually gross. Which is really just more weird association. Those trees are impressive. They're growing outside of... they're going through rocks. Or growing out of rocks. Which is impressive. And by rocks I mean it's probably like a ruin made of rocks, but... oh, that was not a fun day. Not a good time. First one was awful. Just because it took so long to even find it and then I give up. I'm not even going to talk to the people out there. I'm going to wrap up right here. But despite the frustration, only 2 quests left. This one and this one. And I was going to do this one first, then this one, but I should probably start with this one and then end with the frustrating quest. Because this one will be frustrating because Uragaan is never fun, and it's in Volcanic Hollow. It's gonna be bad. But once I do all that, I'll unlock Nakarkos. That should be doable next time, which is appropriate pace. Then I'll have to decide after I beat Nakarkos if I want to play this game at all, or if I want to just take a break before Wild's release. Currently I'm leaning that way, but that's because I'm frustrated by the first quest, so it will depend on where I am at after fighting Nakarkos. So, that's the future. Have a nice day. Bye.